So, mate, let's talk about these ghosts in the radio conversation. What's going on?
So there's been reports that Spotify are paying songwriters, I guess the artists, a flat fee for music, so as opposed to royalties, and effectively that just means that they don't have to pay ongoing royalties. So by doing that, they can manipulate things to effectively make more money out of the song. So that's, I guess, what they're doing here is that they're firstly doing that and then prioritizing these songs in people's playlists. So the idea being is if you can filter, I guess, a proportion of these songs, you're paying less overall in royalties.
So basically, these artists or whoever they are on retainer, and they're not being paid royalties as the traditional format has been set. Do many people, do you think, out there know that this is going on? And do you think we're just kind of silent victims to it? Because it's interesting looking at all these different playlists that you can now listen to, and it's almost like this ambient music.
I'm not sure. I think that probably in some of the more popular genres, you're probably going to get this happening more and more. And I think that there's also an interesting dynamic here in relation to AI, right? So
Right.
we know Suno, we know Udio, and we know now how easy it is to create music off the back of those platforms. Spotify could cut out the middleman and effectively sprinkle these AI tracks amongst, I guess, real tracks. Now think about it from their perspective. If you had 100 tracks in your, I guess, in a Spotify created playlist, and 10 of those tracks were AI generated, that just means that they don't have to pay a royalty for 10 of the 100 tracks that they'd be otherwise paying royalties for.
Jeez, I actually don't know where I sit with this, because I'm in two camps. I mean, A, that's just absolutely wrong, but B, if the songs are any good and you listen to them, then where do you stand? I mean, we're in an interesting time and place, really, I think.
We are, and it's actually, I think, interesting to think about this in a historical context.
Right.
Back in the day, we're talking about the 60s and the 70s, this was actually such a thing. So what you had was budget record companies that were basically paying songwriters on retainers or whatever to basically come up with tracks that would be sold at supermarkets for cheap, and it effectively would be, I don't know, almost copies, so similar sounding records to maybe the big hits out there, but you'd get them a lot cheaper than, say, buying a Beatles record. So this particular thing, I believe, petered out by the end of the 70s, but Lou Reed of the Velvet Underground, he actually got his start in this particular thing that existed. So it's
right.
in some ways history repeating itself with what this concept is all about. I mean, it's all about, it's AI slop, right? So this is what it could end up being, where we've got all this, basically these AIs that we have to listen to. We've got no other choice, because that's what we're paying and signing up for.
So do you think there'll need to be some sort of disclaimer though? I mean, to be fair to the consumer, surely if you're going through a playlist, there'll need to be like a little, instead of trademark or copyright, look, a little AI symbol next to the song, or do you think that the Spotifys of the world will get away with this bullshit?
Well, I mean, let's think about it like this. I mean, Suno, Udio, they end up coming up with the song. It could be re-recorded or tinkered by a particular artist, and effectively you could shit out an album in a day that's reasonably good quality. It's okay. It's not fantastic, but it fits in the genre, and it might cost you effectively the recording fees. I mean, it might cost you $10,000 to get it all done and dusted, and you've got, I don't know, 20 tracks that you've been able to pump out. Now, the economics of it are if you can get enough people, and that basically that you can fill those tracks with someone's playlist on someone's playlist. You're, I guess, prioritizing that song over someone where you'd be paying your royalties are. You do it enough, and you're making more money.
Geez, it'd be interesting to see if there's any artists out there who have an opinion on this, because it must be pretty hard to take hearing conversations like this. And for anyone watching the video, please give us your thoughts and if you've heard of this going on before and whether other streaming services might be doing this as well, because we're only investigating Spotify at the moment. So I don't know, mate. I mean, it's an interesting time and place to be in, and I think this is one that we're going to keep following up on.